Hello everyone, welcome to another video with my life in the middle. This is your girl Lanisha, and I am here because I wanted to talk about my Paris Goyard experience. All right, so this is long overdue. I mean, y'all, the end of the year, Christmas, all that good stuff, and working, just has taken up my time. But listen, I just got home from, well, I didn't just get home from work, but I got home from work not too long ago. I fed my babies and I said, you know what, no time but the present. Let's hit record, scrubs and all. So nevertheless, let's talk about my Goyard Paris experience. Now, prior to going to Paris, I've heard about Goyard, but I have never been interested in Goyard. It was not something that I was curious about. It was not something I was looking for, nothing like that. It just so happened that when we went to the George Sank store, the George V store in Paris, right across the street, there's a Goyard store. And so we end up going in. But before that experience, we did pass by a Goyard store. There was no line. It was towards the end of the day. And we did go in. And when we went in, we realized, or we were told, that it was their accessories store. It wasn't their main store. So they didn't really have anything in there. And when we first went in there, there was not much to see. So because there wasn't much to see, we looked at it for 2 minutes and then we walked right back out. Plus the vibe in there was off. I don't know. The vibe was off, right? But in this particular situation, when we went to the George Sank store on my birthday and we saw that there was a Goyard store right across the street, we said, hey, let's go in. And there was no line. We went in. And when we went in, we had our bag from Hermes. They asked if we want to check it. We said fine. We checked it, and then a sales associate greeted us and asked how could he help us. And I told him, hey, listen, this is my first time being in Goyard, and I did not know much about the brands, and I was just curious, and I wanted to see more. And he said, okay, well, tell me what you may be interested in seeing. So I said, well, I'm a crossbody girl. Can I see some of your crossbody bags? And he took me over to a display case and he was showing me some bags, and they did have the prices displayed with the bags. And when I was looking at the prices, I was like, oh, these prices aren't that bad, in the world of luxury, right? And the reason why I say that is that rumor has it Goyard is very elusive, right? It's hard to get. It's kind of like one of those things where you don't know much about it. They don't advertise their prices, online. You at that time, you could not purchase anything from Goyard online. So there was a lot of mystery surrounding it. And I didn't know much information. So when I saw the price, I was like, oh, well, that price is not too bad. And I said to the sales associate, I was like, so what's the big deal? Why everybody makes it seem like it's so hard to get? And he said, well, how can I answer this question? And I was like, oh, okay. I say, it's okay. Is it, if you can't really answer it, I understand. But is it like a Hermes type deal? And he said, no, it's not like Hermes. It's more so, I would say, like Rolex. So I took that to mean that, you go into the store, a lot of things may be on display, but not available for purchase. And so it's one of those things where you have to wait to be able to purchase things and go on a waiting list or something like that. So I kind of thought of it like that because that's kind of how Rolex works for the most part. So, it wasn't until afterwards I did some research and I saw that there are a limited amount of Goyard, stores worldwide. I think there's only about 40 plus stores worldwide, where other boutiques like Hermes have hundreds of stores worldwide. And so because of the limitation of the availability of stores to go in and actually purchase, and the inability at that time to purchase online and knowing their prices, it was kind of more so elusive. Nevertheless, when I saw the crossbody bags that he was showing me, I was like, oh my God, I really do like it. Can I, what are the colors that you have in this bag? And he said, and he took me to another display case that kind of showed all the different colors. And so I immediately said, oh my God, that green is perfection. Do you have this bag in a green? And he said, well, do you want it, with I guess they have the, you know, you can get it with like a picture on it, or I don't know what they call it, like an anagram on it. It's like a different picture that they have on it. Or do you want it, you know, plain? And I would say, no, I would want it plain. Do you have it in a plain green? And he said, okay, wait right here. And I waited. And then a few minutes later, he came back and he said, can you follow me, please? And so we followed him, and then he took me into a back room, and my best friend obviously was with me. So both of us, we went into the back room, and he said, okay, listen, this is kind of how it works. You know, things are very limited here. So, you know, we have to be careful for resellers and things like that. So if, you know, we think that you are a genuine customer and we have the availability, we can show you a bag. If not, we may say, no, we do not have it available if we think that you may potentially be a reseller. He said, I can clearly see that you're not a reseller, so I wanted to show you this bag. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So he showed me the bag, and y'all, spilling my drink. But he showed me the bag, and y'all, I really liked it. I really liked it. I was like, oh my God, can we have the room for a second? Can I think? And so he left for a second, and I was looking at my best friend. I was like, oh my God, I did not plan to buy this bag. I really did not plan to buy this bag. I wasn't even coming in here to buy anything. I don't even like Goyard, but I really like this bag. And she's like, you should get it. You should get it. I'm telling you, she was such an enabler this trip. So we talked about it, and then we called him back in, and I was like, I'll get it. And he said, oh, I know. I was like, you know? He's like, yeah, I know. So he then took the bag, and I guess he took it to a register outside of that private room, and he wrapped it up or whatever. You know, the cashier asked for my information, and I gave them my information and my card and my passport and all that stuff. And then we purchased the bag. And while all of that was taking place, we were making small talk with the sales associate. And he gave us his information and said, you know, the next time you are in Paris, if you would like to stop by, let me know. And then we can schedule you to come in so that you don't have to wait in line, etc., etc. So I was like, oh man, that's really nice of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And you know, thank you for making this simple, right? So yeah, that was my Goyard experience. And the funny thing about this, whenever I've seen these bags out in the wild, it was never something that I was like, okay, this is something that I had to have or anything like that. I was just kind of curious about, I don't know, I wouldn't say the hype, but maybe the illusion of luxury for something that seems so contemporary, or, you know, I don't know. It seems like it's just a canvas, colorful bag. So what is so important, or what's so well regarded about Goyard? And as I said, I never took the time to do any research prior to going into the store because it wasn't something I was looking at. However, okay, what was I saying? I have no idea what I was saying before my heartbeat number 2 came running in here. So yeah, I was genuinely curious about, you know, Goyard, and you know, what made Goyard so special. However, the sales associate did kind of give me a little history about the brand and told me that it is one of the oldest heritage brands, and, you know, started out with trunk making similar to Louis Vuitton. However, they've been around before Louis Vuitton, before Hermes, you know. So it was very interesting to learn about it and to see it and to see how it worked in real time. And, you know, it was kind of curious. And it was so funny because while we were there and we're checking out, and when he took us into the back room and all that good stuff, other people in the store was like looking at us, you know. So I was like, okay, were they asking for things and we're unable to get it? What was going on? I don't know. But all I know is I just so happened to go there. I had a great experience. It was cool. I asked questions. The sales associate was gracious enough to answer, even though he was trying to be a little bit more discreet and answer mostly in private. And I came back with a bag. So obviously, you know, because we're traveling, I did not bring back all the extras, the bag and everything, you know, the shopping bag and everything that it came with. But I did insist on bringing back the box because this will be my first and only, thus far, Goyard bag. So let's see what I got. So here it is. So this is the ribbon that was around the box that I took off. It was wrapped very nicely in this beautiful like floral tissue paper, and I saved that. And here is the dust bag. And so based on the size, obviously I didn't get you know, the popular St. Louis bag from Goyard. I decided on something else. I did want one of their crossbody bags, and I couldn't help myself. I got the Saigon, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, mini in the soft, right, in the green, right? So here it is. I'll show you up close. And it has this wooden handle, which I just think is such a cute touch. Now, I am not a mini bag girl. However, because this is in the soft texture, and while I was in the store in the private room, I did try to put my cell phone and different other items in the bag and make sure everything fit. It does pack a lot because it's a very flexible bag. So let's open it up. You open it up by undoing this like insert. And then inside you can see it has the beautiful yellow inside. It has a little bit of a tissue paper. It does have a small dust bag. This has a crossbody strap in here. Let's take out this little plastic. It has this card inside. And I'm gonna guess this is like an authenticity card, or maybe like, so yeah, it's just like a card that just says this here, and inside the card it just says, thank you for your interest in Maison Goyard, a French independent trunk maker, perpetuating a savoir-faire inherited from the 18th century, 1792, and cultivating a unique identity. Right, so that's that little card there. So I guess I'll keep that in the bag. So in the bag it's just one hole. It's leather lined, and it has one slit pocket in the back. It is just such a cute bag. Such a cute bag. I love this green. I don't know. This green definitely caught my attention. It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. So there's no back pocket or anything. And let me show you quickly the crossbody strap. It's a very thin strap in the same green color, but it's definitely long enough for me. I'm 5'8", so that was a consideration for me. So yeah, so this is what I got from Goyard. That was my very first time going into a Goyard store, even remotely curious about Goyard, and it was a good experience. So the question is, will I be buying more from Goyard? So obviously, once I made, you know how it goes. Once you make your initial purchase, you then start to think, do I want to continue buying more? And so I did, do more research about the brand, because I like that. I like knowing about the history of the brands and what it has to offer. And I did go ahead and explore their website and look at different things that they have. One of the things I did see that I may want is one of their backpacks, and I will insert a picture of that. Another thing that I saw that I want to say just came out of late is their new, I want to say it's Bonbon Deer East-West bags. That one I'm really interested in. I like it. I really do like it. I don't think there's a Goyard store I know there's not a Goyard store in my immediate area, but I don't know if there's any in South Florida. I need to research that. However, I do plan that if I do go back to Paris, to hit up that sales associate, because he was just so wonderful, and see if I can, get my eyes and my hands on that Bonbon Deer bag. I hope I'm saying it right. But yes, I'm very interested in that, and a backpack. So yeah, so that was my Goyard experience. Tell me, went to Goyard if you have any Goyard pieces. No, I'm not interested in the St. Louis or anything like that. That's just not calling my name right now. But I do definitely love this bag, and I will, you know, I wouldn't mind having it in a bigger size, as well as that backpack and the bonbon bag. So let me know what y'all thinking. Let me know about your Goyard experiences, all right? Well, as usual, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like,
comment, and subscribe.
And if you have already, thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you have not, what are you waiting on? Come join our family. We would love to have you. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.